This fight, we got Jessica Penne taking on Tabatha Ricci. This is a prospect fight against a veteran. And I see the line, man. I see everyone's betting up Tabatha Ricci. Now they got Penne at like a plus 250. I think that's wild. I think you guys are tripping. The people that are betting on Ricci all the way at like over minus 250 odds and stuff like that. Now I see she's up to minus 270, minus 280. I think that's way too wide. Personally, I mean, when you're looking at this fight, I think this is a tougher matchup for Tabatha Ricci than a lot of other girls that are probably at a higher standing in the eyes of the bookies and the eyes of the fans and people that watch the sport than Jessica Penne, because Jessica Penne is an elite grappler. I think Penne is the better grappler of the two, even though Tabatha Ricci, that's her game. And that's going to make this fight very difficult, along with Jessica Penne being significantly bigger. She's 4 inches taller. She has 5 inches in reach. And the one thing when you look at Jessica Penne is she is 40 years old, and that pops out of you right away. I mean, 12 years older than Ricci, and 40 years old is a really high number for MMA, especially female MMA, and 115 pounds. But you look at Jessica Penne's career, and she had that long layoff where she didn't fight for about 4 years, which makes her a lot younger than her age in MMA years. And she's been performing well. I mean, since she's came back to the sport, she's gotten 2 big upset victories. She beat Lupi Godinez, even in a controversial win. She still got the decision nod. And her last fight, she lost to Emily Ducote, but Emily Ducote was on a big win streak before that. She was the Invicta champion. She was able to win the first round against Ducote, Jessica Penne, and fought really tough. I mean, she got her leg beat up with leg kicks in that one, and she was facing a superior striker. But she hung in there, and she showed her hands are a lot better, her straight punches, her 1-2s. And in this particular fight with Tabatha Ricci, I think that Penne is a lot better striker. I mean, even though Penne is not a great striker in my estimation, and neither girl is great on the feet, I just don't think Tabatha Ricci offers that much in the stand-up. She's fast, so she's pretty elusive on the outside, and she'll dart in, dart out with some punches. She'll throw some kicks, but to me, she doesn't have power. She doesn't really have any reason or rhyme about her striking. She doesn't set things up that great, and it's all just kind of a distraction, end up eventually getting the takedown. And I think that Penne is going to be pressing forward and be the superior striker on the feet, throwing more volume, I feel, as well, significantly. And I think Penne also has the cardio edge, so I would look to press and really push the pace, which, you know, with Jessica Penne, one thing about her is even if you don't think she's a great fighter, she's always going to come in and she's going to be extremely tough and durable, and she's going to be very well conditioned. So you never have to worry about her quitting in there. You never have to worry about her getting tired usually. So she's a professional for sure, and she's a veteran. But yeah, and then when you look at the ground, and in terms of the wrestling, I do favor Tabatha Ricci. I think she probably can get some explosive takedowns on Jessica Penne, but once it gets to the ground, I just don't know. I don't see Ricci being overwhelmingly better on the ground. I think that Penne's guard and her length is going to give Ricci a lot of problems. We just watched her last fight with Polyana Viana, and Ricci was not comfortable at all in the guard of Polyana Viana. She kept standing up out of the guard. She was kicking the legs and didn't seem willing to play on the ground with a long grappler with a good guard, and that's what you have here with Jessica Penne. And I think that Penne's length could potentially get her into a good position in a clinch exchange where she could take the back, which you've seen her do plenty of times. And I feel if Penne gets on top, she's going to be a little bit more effective. So ultimately, I feel like Penne has a lot of advantages in this fight. I think she has the striking advantage. I think she has the cardio advantage. I think she has the grappling advantage. The youth, the athleticism is on the side of Ricci, and probably the wrestling is on the side of Ricci. But I just don't know if she's going to do enough offense to win this fight. I think that it's a fight where it should be like closer to a 50-50 on the money line, because I just don't think Ricci has proven much of anything in MMA yet. I think she has a long way to go. And I still have a lot of respect for Penne. I think that she's still a pretty good fighter in the weight class. So honestly, I'm picking Penne to win this fight here by decision. I think that it could potentially be competitive, but I think that Penne is going to have the more impactful moments in the fight, and I think she's going to have the better cardio down the stretch. I think that Ricci might hit a couple takedowns, but Penne will either sweep her, put her in some submission danger, or Ricci will just be uncomfortable and get back up to her feet and not really impose herself on the ground. And I think that Penne is not going to be as novice or have as bad fight IQ as Polyana Viana to let a fight slip away where you're the superior fighter, but you give away too many minutes just by being kind of lazy, laying on your back, and just showing a lack of urgency and a lack of fight IQ, which I don't think Penne is going to do. So unless Jessica Penne just falls off a cliff here and she doesn't look like she did against Emily Ducote, then I think she's going to get the win. So I'm going to go with Jessica Penne, and I think she's a pretty good value, especially if people keep betting up Tabatha Ricci. So give me Jessica Penne in this spot, and I'm going to pick her by decision.